I love that C-3PO just has an off switch on the back of his head.
That is actually really
So
funny.
I love the way Han just kind of like rolls his eyes and nonchalantly points at C-3PO, and Leia's just like, yeah, just shuts him off. It's like, come on.
I wonder if this is not the first time they've had to do that.
Not only the audience is getting annoyed of him, and so are the characters in the movie. Like, it's great.
Unfortunately, Jar Jar didn't have an off switch.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Star Wars Total Rewatch, where we're rewatching all of Star Wars from the shows and the movies and the holiday specials. Thankfully, we're done with that one. This time we're moving on to The Empire Strikes Back.
That's right, and we are coming to you live from the planet of Ord Mantell.
Remind me what Ord Mantell is like, Cody. Remind our listeners.
Oh, you don't remember
I can see
Ord
it around
Mantell?
me, but they can't.
Ord Mantell, that's the place where Han Solo ran into that bounty hunter that made him change his mind.
Oh, of course. How could I forget?
That's something new that I picked up this time watching it back through.
Yeah, I remembered that too, or picked that up as well.
Ord Mantell is one of the pod racers from Ord Mantell.
That sounds like the name of a pod racer. No, I think it's one of the tracks.
Oh, in the game, you can race on.
I mean, the name definitely sounds very familiar, so that's probably what it's from.
And in between in between the holiday special and this one, they must have gone there and had some fantastic adventures.
Yeah, apparently.
That we'll never know about.
No, it's where this guy is from.
Jax Cordon?
Yep.
Well, I guess we should start at the beginning, huh?
Yeah.
Anybody have any general thoughts?
It's still probably the best Star Wars movie.
It was very good.
It's a good in-between.
Yeah, I was really liking it.
I really enjoyed it.
I feel like it's hard to make a in-between film like the second in a trilogy. But it's really well done. Like, the structure of the story is very interesting.
Definitely, and the way that the characters evolve really starts to shine through in this one as well.
Yep.
Yeah, the first one was like everyone kind of has a general, I don't know what you call it, like a type of character they're playing, but here they get a little, they get deeper into their personalities and their relationships.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I think like very early on too, they kind of set up. I mean, they had just met in the last movie, and they very quickly show that how good of friends they are. Like, Luke gets lost, and they're so worried. I don't know. Like, some time has passed, obviously. And I feel like they really do a good job of setting up, they really become
They barely
friends.
reference, like, the overall rebellion after the intro.
Yeah.
It's mostly then it's just this very contained story about the main characters.
Oh, yeah. The battle's all at the beginning.
Yeah,
and
it's really not even about that at all after that. They're really just surviving.
I'm so used to seeing all these movies like together. Everything that happens in them kind of blends together. I forget to think about this as being a sequel.
Yep.
But they do a good job of kind of reintroducing the characters in those first few scenes. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, here's what Han's doing, and he comes in and Leia's looking over at him because there's still that drama going on.
Yep.
That love
will they, won't they? You never know.
Which is awkward in retrospect, but
yes,
at the time,
nobody knew.
Everybody's wondering.
The directors maybe didn't even know at the time.
They maybe didn't.
Well, they must have, because I'm assuming they had
that.
the script completed before they started filming. Anyways, assuming it's not like Pirates of the Caribbean.
But they might not have known Leia and Han were, or Leia and Luke were siblings.
Right, Vader and Luke are related, but we don't know.
Well, because Yoda says at the end, he said there is another.
But, like, did they even know who the other was? I mean, you would assume, I guess. But.
Well, like, Yoda never met Leia in these movies. And Obi-Wan maybe saw her before they leave on the Death Star.
But Yoda's the one that said there is another.
They just know that there was a twin out there.
Oh, but they maybe don't know that Leia is
No, they never even meet her. I don't know if they could sense something through the Force somehow, but they're not like all seeing.
Yeah,
Right, you would have thought that Vader would have sent something when he first.
If they're any good, you'd think they'd know. Yeah, Vader never seems to pick up on it. Hey, Cody, do you still have those VHSs?
Yes, I do.
Do you want to read the back cover?
Ooh, that's a good. I'll have to grab 1 second. All right, you ready for the this VHS description?
Yes, what happened in this movie?
In the spellbinding Star Wars sequel, the battle to save the galaxy from the evil Empire rages on. Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia, and Chewbacca face attack by the Imperial forces and its AT-AT walkers on the ice planet Hoth. While Han and Leia escape in the Millennium Falcon, Luke travels to Dagobah in search of Yoda. Only with the Jedi Master's help will Luke survive when the dark side of the Force beckons him into an ultimate duel with Darth Vader. An amazing array of special effects, blazing action, and imagination, The Empire Strikes Back has been hailed as one of the greatest motion pictures ever made. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Nice.
And the cover is of a giant Stormtrooper's helmet.
Didn't they have a giant, like, half of somebody's head on each of the movies?
We got Darth Vader on the first one, Stormtrooper on the second one, and Yoda.
Cool.
So yeah, we'll just keep talking about this, and it's talking about how Darth Vader is obsessed with finding Luke Skywalker. Like, he's not just trying to find him.
He really
he's
hates that shit.
obsessed with finding him.
Yeah, he does. Just as much as
Right.
Kylo. It's like weird how he calls him Luke's. Like, he knows who Skywalker is, and he's trying to hunt him down, but he doesn't really know it's his son. Because, like, the Emperor tells him.
And that's how he finds out.
So it's kind of like, but it's like, he has your last name. Like, did you forget?
That's a good point.
Or I guess, did they talk about Anakin Skywalker in the other movies, or do we even know Darth Vader's old name?
They
I
do,
think he said
at least
Anakin.
in Return of the Jedi. But do they say it in any of this one?
Did Obi-Wan say it in The New Hope, or no?
I feel
I
like
remember when he said...
No, I think it just says your father.
Right,
A
okay,
farther
so...
away man.
Farther away. That's Thumb Wars for all you out there.
Then we see them on this crazy ice world, riding these puppeteer creatures that look awesome. And the special effects, they really are good.
I like it, yeah. And again, I watched the original version, so you get to see them in all their stop-action glory.
Well, the one that I watched the DVD version from 2004. Mm-hmm. But that one also had the stop-motion scenes, of the...
Oh, they kept it?
I don't think they changed those, no.
Sweet.
It still looks good.
Yeah, and they still have the stop-motion scenes for the ATs as well, and the little ATST.
Sweet. I thought they would have changed them.
Maybe there was some reaction to the first one.
Now, when Darth Vader's talking to the Emperor, the Emperor tells him he's his son?
I think it's different in the original, isn't it?
That's what mine, he still said, he said the son of Skywalker must, I don't remember what he says about him, but he just calls him the son of Skywalker and...
Must not become a Jedi.
Okay. Vader seems to just know what he's talking about. But I don't think he says it's your son.
I think he says it's the son of
Emperor
Anakin Skywalker, I'm pretty sure.
He tells him he's the offspring.
But does he say he's your, like, does he make it clear to the audience that Vader is?
Oh, yeah, you're right. He says of Anakin Skywalker.
So I just wonder if Vader already knew that.
It was supposed to be maybe misleading. Like, maybe we don't really know what Anakin is.
Right, but like Vader knows.
Well, at that point, he would know.
The version that you watched, Aaron, did it have the same Emperor?
No, I got a different Emperor.
That's what I thought.
I'm
pretty sure, I remember seeing some footage of it, and it looked weird.
He's like just some other old guy, and he's got like bulgy eyes, kind of around, like around his eyes. Knowing the what's his name, Ian
McDiarmid,
the Emperor that we're more familiar with, he seems a little more intimidating. This guy felt like just some random face.
A little goofy.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'd be different if he actually kept going into the other movies. But
I think the Wampa scene was changed slightly too.
There were some clips of the Wampa added.
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
what I thought. Like they added in more.
I think
maybe
footage of it.
I think that it's like shots where they actually show it up close.
because that was a different looking Wampa when they
Yeah.
showed it in the deleted scenes. Maybe that's
I
not.
think they didn't quite have it done
Yeah,
yet.
it didn't look good.
We were watching deleted scenes, and it was with a pretty fake-looking Wampa sneaking around the base.
Yeah, he wasn't doing a good job sneaking either. Everyone knew he was there.
It's like eats a stormtrooper.
Yeah, and then Vader sees him and just closes the door and walks away.
No, the snowtrooper that pulls his buddy in, and then he instantly closes
Right.
the door
He's like, well.
on him.
Yeah. Let's
Too
close
bad.
that door.
But they have it. They also
Let's
show it
close
breaking
that
in earlier and like killing a bunch of rebel dudes, and they like fight and kill one of them
Right.
first.
Yeah, there's a lot more Wampa footage than we thought there was. Little too much Wampa for me.
Never enough Wampa.
Oh man, I actually kind of like that Wampa. I think I was totally fine with the special edition.
So we're watching the changed and the original side by side here, and I think I agree. That's a change. I'm fine with.
He looks great.
That looks
Yeah,
It's practical.
Yeah,
That's
they don't
why
even
it
show 'em.
works. It's not a CG.
yeah, it wasn't just CG.
Wampa, yeah.
I didn't remember seeing the original of that. I didn't realize that wasn't in it, but yeah, now that I'm seeing it, I missed that. Yeah. Getting their arm cut
Yeah, and
off.
then you actually see him with like
That's
his
interesting.
arm too. Yeah, no, I like that. I like that change. I approve of that
I
change.
approve
Right.
this message. And I think that's the first time anybody moves things with the Force. Ben didn't ever do that, did he?
Yeah, like I mean, Luke goes from maybe I guess you could argue maybe that Luke moved the proton torpedoes into the exhaust
You
vent.
could argue it, but
Blew up the Death Star, but I don't know.
Obi-Wan more so. Obi-Wan makes
And you could easily argue against it.
Obi-Wan makes a sound with the Force and distracts some troopers in the.
He has a little
New Hope.
snap.
And he also tells the stormtroopers to go home and rethink
Right.
their life as well. No, but he tells them to whatever, go away. When he flies into Mos
He waves
Eisley,
his
he
hand and
says
says,
he's on the droid
"Go
you're looking
away."
for. That's what.
and they say we're gonna go away now.
They had that extra extended scene for the deleted scenes of their conversation in the hallway, Han and Leia's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see why they cut it. The longer it goes on, the more Han
That
Solo
was
just
very
seems like a
poorly
jerk.
done. Their lines were just really bad. Like the other lines were really good, and then all of a sudden it jumps to that, and it's like completely different.
Yeah, that was a good thing to be cut.
It was kind of comical to watch.
So they
but-
did a good job of taking out the terrible stuff.
and I don't know, maybe it was like more. It almost seems spontaneous talking. Like maybe they worked on the other ones more, and then they just kind of were improvising a little bit or something because it seemed really bad.
Don't tell me about the rebellion again. Don't you think about anything else. I'm sorry, but you're as cold as this planet.
And you think you're the one to apply some heat?
I could, but I'm not really interested anymore.
When Leia is talking to Luke, still in the base, he's saying, when I was out in that ice, I... ... And Leia goes, I was real worried.
Does it hurt?
Yeah, I'm fine. Leia, when I was out in that storm, I was real worried.
Nice.
That's like the quality of this stuff.
It has remnants of Anakin and Padme lines. So.
It makes me wonder if they accidentally just left in the wrong scenes in the prequels. Maybe there's a
Right.
masterpiece left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah, they kept out the best
Right.
scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's also when Han drops his big throwaway line about running into that bounty hunter on Ord Mantell.
Just before this shot in the lead scene pans over. People aren't watching, but they're in the hallway, and it pans over and there's a Wampa
Yeah,
scratching
really.
at the wall.
Really
In
scary.
the deleted scene. I don't remember.
Smashing through the ice.
Probably a good thing to leave out. That just seems really.
It feels
weird.
like they're trying to be a thriller. Suddenly, while they're talking, little do they know there's a Wampa scratching through the
Yeah,
ice.
why would they make Wampas like the biggest threat? It makes way more sense to have the Empire coming towards them.
Like they
started
don't have
out
enough
with
to
the
deal with
probe
already.
droids and
Plus, like, what are the, like, our Tauntauns? I'm assuming the Tauntauns are native to Hoth, yet they say their Tauntauns just going to freeze out there. I don't know how they survived.
Uh,
Plus, Plus, what are these wampas eating? Are they just eating tauntauns all the time? These are the kind of
Yeah.
things that I think about, the ecological
The
impacts.
how do the wampas survive,
Yeah.
you're
I'm
saying?
glad you're so concerned about fake
How does this
environments.
planet's ecosystem survive?
When it's that cold out, the tauntauns would probably, take shelter.
Right.
They wouldn't ride out in the middle of the blizzard, but that was, Han did that
Right.
to it.
Well, they were saying...
So Han essentially
They were...
killed the tauntaun,
yeah.
and he shot Greedo first, so he's kind of ruthless.
Earlier they were talking about they didn't see any form of life at all on the planet. There's no form of life out here.
Oh,
Apparently there was.
Yeah, wampas,
no sign
Don't
of it.
detect
They
it.
blend in.
Yeah. Luke decides to go look at an asteroid, even though they're like, with all this asteroid activity, I don't know why he decided to go investigate one little asteroid.
but then he didn't even investigate it. He got mauled before he could leave.
He got wampa'd.
He got mauled.
Good.
I know. Every word is a pun now.
Right.
I was thinking when I watched this, it's like, man, what a way to go for a Jedi.
Face
Just freezes
down.
to death.
No.
Luke is constantly getting attacked by stuff, even though he's looking through his visor specifically. It was like
It's
the same
snuck
as
up on all the time.
it's the same as the Tusken Raider, almost the same exact thing.
But it's okay. Han shows up, saves the day, says his funny one-liner about them smelling bad on the outside.
Gets to use a lightsaber.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh yeah.
You know what I appreciated? Yeah, that was Han's big moment with lightsaber. I appreciate this movie. I mean, the other one too, A New Hope. They're rarely trying to be funny.
There are times when I'm laughing, but they're not making jokes. They're just
Right, but they're not
funny
they're not
as characters.
Quips.
But
yeah.
but even they're not even trying to be funny. There's not that much funny stuff. It's pretty serious, is my point.
Some of the lines are just clever. The way Harrison Ford just delivers his lines is just funny.
Yeah, right. They're funny, but they're not comedic lines. They're
Yeah.
not,
It's all coming through their interactions.
There's a whole bunch of C-3PO riding around on Chewie's back in Cloud City. That kind of got old. Just watching it again.
Yeah, I guess that some of that was comic relief. I think it's in there to be humor for the audience, but it's not like C-3PO is thinking that he's making all these jokes.
he's not going, oh, this is such a drag, getting dragged on the ground.
That's a
in the
good
other-
point. I like that Ben shows up as a Force ghost. We never saw that before either. He was just a voice in the first one.
Yeah, that was the first. Then the probe droid shows up. They get discovered. And then, here Leia's giving her speech. One thing I noticed is she didn't end it with, "May the Force be with you." She was like, "Good luck."
Too much of the
Which-
Force. These guys are just some guys.
Yeah, they don't
a
know
bunch
about
of
the Force.
Norwegians.
Oh, yeah.
They were. They
Well-
filmed this in Norway. Got a bunch of Norwegian extras.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's why it was such a good movie.
Yeah, and look, they did such a good job.
Oh, yeah. I
Just
love
another
the
day in
battle
Norway.
scene. They have this cool trenches. and-
Yeah. Every day of Norway is like The Empire Strikes Back.
I like their plan here. I like this guy's line on the Star Destroyer.
Our first catch
Right.
of the day.
Our first catch of the day.
right? I guess that could be argued as a funny line, but I don't know. It doesn't seem
but it's not-
overtly silly.
It's just good writing. It's an interesting way to say something. And he could have just said, "Good, let's go get them." It makes it like, no, real people have their own kinds of phrasing, their own way of saying things.
Yeah. Or they could try to make him sound really evil and be like, good, we can destroy the rebels now.
This is just the way that the Empire operates. Very
Right.
cold.
It shows how
this is
sure
how people
themselves
talk.
they are.
It's like how real
I mean,
people talk.
I still think that they clearly put humor in there, and I just think that they did it much better and more subtly in these movies, in the earlier movies than the newer
Oh yeah,
ones.
there's some great stuff with Han and Leia where she says, "One of these days you're going to be wrong, and I just hope I'm there to see it." And then when his hyperdrive doesn't work, he reminds her of that, and she says, "I take it back." And it doesn't
very clever.
distract you; it just flows into the next part of the scene.
Yeah, so that's kind of comical, but it's you got to be paying attention to it. I don't know. You could see them
It's-
actually just talking like that.
it's a
It
band.
fits their character.
Yes. Witty
Yes,
banter.
good old witty banter.
Witty bantha.
My example I was gonna say, because we were just watching The Last Jedi, like one of the opening scenes, the general, I'm forgetting his name for the
Hux.
Empire, he's like going over the top. We're gonna obliterate the Alliance. You know what I mean? He's a one descriptive word after another.
Yeah.
And it's like just over the top. Like, would he really talk like that?
It doesn't feel like a real person would say
No, it
this.
just feels like you wrote it trying to make him sound really evil.
Or he's just like totally crazy, which you kind of feel that by the end of the movie. Like, this guy's just actually a nutcase. I love the Imperials in the original trilogy. Like, they're just very serious. Like, they're just doing their job.
Yeah, the head AT Walker.
Yeah.
General Veers, my man Veers.
That's Veers? Okay. But he's also talking to Vader on the hologram, and he just seems very casual. What? We're almost ready. You can begin your landing. And he just has this calm expression on his face, getting his work done while he destroys speeders.
Yeah, and like the Rebel pilots too, like his wingmen, Dak,
Sure.
and
Yeah, it's very military.
Rogue Two, and
Poor Dak. He was so optimistic.
I know.
He was. I could take on the whole Empire myself. Well, that didn't last too long.
Well, maybe you could have, but you didn't make it. We'll never know, Dak.
They go through pilots like Darth Vader goes through admirals.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, he starts off with he addresses him as Captain Piet after he kills the current admiral, and then he calls him Admiral at the end.
Yeah, that's great. Just like swallows.
You are in command now.
Admiral.
Yikes. Apology accepted.
And he's thinking, I'm not sure I want to be an admiral.
Well, that was Captain Nita who went and
I
apologized.
like how he seems to. He says, "I'll just go apologize to Vader.
I'll take full
I'm sure he'll
responsibility."
understand."
I love how,
I mean, he doesn't have much of a
I love how
choice.
terrible everyone seems to be at piloting Star Destroyers.
Right?
Like, how often do they
Pilot
crash
straight at
into
'em.
things in space?
You have to be seeing it coming from so far away.
I know.
It's not like the Falcon just made them swerve.
Yep, then we see this hilarious scene where he sets the tool bench precariously on the edge and it falls on him. Yeah, again, humor, but
Yeah, it's like
Done
funny,
well.
but it's also like it
It
makes
does make
sense.
sense. And I love how he can tell the difference between a blaster and an asteroid. The asteroid field song is like the best Star Wars song.
oh, it is. When I would pause the movie to go do something when I was like cooking dinner, I just found myself just humming the theme song, the whatever song was playing at the
Yeah.
time. And man, it just all the songs
It's
just
great.
stick with you. They're so great.
Last fall, we went to an event where they played one of the Harry Potter movies on a big screen, but with a live orchestra underneath on stage, playing the whole soundtrack along with the movie. They're doing that later this year with The Empire Strikes Back.
What? Really?
No way.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it.
Oh, how was the audio though? Like, did it completely drown out everything else, or was it all mixed?
No, the studio had it was an official thing, so they had made a specific version of the movie with just the dialogue and no music, so that the orchestra could play along with this.
Right, but then we get
So,
to
Luke goes to Dagobah.
Apparently, he doesn't know about hitting the brakes or something. I don't know. He just comes like
cruises
flying in.
Surprised he
It's
didn't
like, why
die
would you
there.
slowly go down?
Literally comes
He was
flying
hoping
in.
there'd be a landing strip.
But like even the landing strips on the other planets, it's not like you just come cruising in like a runway. No, it's a pad that you slowly lower in on.
Right.
Could have just
But,
nailed a tree
it
and died.
looks like he's cruising in because it's from his view, but maybe he is actually going very slow and just kind of bloop into the pond.
They probably have like computer guidance for landing area.
Yeah.
R2 is supposed to be doing that job.
Well, he said the scopes he couldn't see anything because it's
No,
too
he
thick.
does.
So maybe that's
And
why.
Archer was too busy playing games to notice.
That's what all those bleeps and bloops are.
Yeah. Oh, we see the funny periscope pop up. It's always a good one. Then he gets spit out and thrown across the screen with his classic scream that I'm not even going to attempt to mimic. But there we go.
So I wanted to comment about Yoda. I think he's just testing Luke this whole time because he's like really goofy right away, and then all of a sudden flips a switch,
I'm
and
a
then
puppet.
his Master Yoda. Yeah, and then all of a sudden like
Right.
flips a switch and is like, oh, it's Master Yoda.
Or then he goes to like flips a switch and becomes like super creepy, and he's like, "You
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're right though. I remembered him being all laughy and messing around with Luke's stuff, but I had forgotten that he does switch.
Yeah, and it's all. I was like kind of watching it for that because I remember we've talked about it before, and like he's just goofy right away, and then all of a sudden he goes, I cannot train him. Then it's just all serious after that.
I think he's been alone a long time.
I mean, he that's what we've talked about. It's like he's been alone, so maybe he's just gone crazy.
possibly."
I kind of like silly Yoda. I can't watch some of these scenes now without singing that Seagull song.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Here he's hitting R2 with this stick.
Yeah, the hitting Yoda or R2 while he's singing the song's great.
If you listeners haven't seen the bad lip reading Seagull song with Yoda, just pause this and go watch it right now.
Yeah.
And then come back
and then watch
see if
the
you can
scene,
take
and
the scene.
you'll never look at it again the same.
Another thing that I just reminded of, when Obi-Wan is talking about going to Dagobah, he's like, "There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who taught me."
Yeah.
Qui-Gon Jinn? Who's that? Oh, I don't know. Yoda was
But
like
Yoda kind of taught
Yoda
everyone
was
right away. You know what I mean?
One of his teachers.
Yeah, I think
Yoda taught all the kids. He did like first grade, and then Obi-Wan takes over in high school.
I think after
Qui-Gon.
After Qui-Gon died, I think Obi-Wan kind of was training under Yoda still. It seemed like.
I guess that would make sense. And here we hear Obi-Wan talking to both of them, so it's not like he's just in Luke's head.
I like the part when Obi-Wan holds his hands up like that.
don't give in.
Later, yeah.
Don't give in.
Yeah, I don't know, something about it. When Luke's getting into his X-Wing and Obi-Wan's got his hands up, I don't know if this is just me, but it feels like he can't go past that point. Like he's
miming a wall.
I can appear to you, but it's a force wall, or it's like the wall beyond, whatever place he's in now. He can't reach out past that to actually interact with Luke.
That leads to the dark
stuck
side.
in a box.
Or it's like a mime.
Right.
Maybe that's
I'm in
it.
this force box. I can't get out. Yeah, I get what you're saying, though. Yeah, he definitely has like limitations.
Well, I mean, as shown in the newer movies, Force Yoda was able to call down lightning.
Yeah, what are they actually capable of once they're a force ghost? Is he really more powerful than you can possibly imagine? I don't know about that.
No, he's definitely not. I can imagine an awful lot.
Turn into Captain Marvel. Just smash through a Star Destroyer.
The lighting is cool. There's so many shadows on things.
In that scene? Oh, yeah, the end of that scene.
When the ship
Luke
is
flies
taking
away.
off and it looks like the scene is fading away, but it's just a shadow on Yoda.
That boy was our last hope.
Right. I'll talk about lighting, man. When they're first going to the carbonite freezing chamber, that lighting is great.
Everything on Bespin.
Just the shadows on everybody's faces, just like as you can just tell, it's dark. It's a bad
with that
time.
bright red.
Bad news bears.
And Luke and Vader's fight too is super cool in the dark.
Yeah, that's a
with,
good fight.
With like different colors behind them.
And I love the different stages. You kind of see some different, first Vader's kind of toying with Luke. Then Luke gets some confidence and beats him. And then the next one, Vader's basically toying with Luke in that one again. And then the final one, he's just angry, just had enough, gonna try to kill him basically.
Right, yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Boba Fett. They changed his voice too in the newer movies. They swapped him out with the actor who played Jango Fett.
Gotcha.
He did the voice.
He had a cool voice in the old ones.
Now they got to switch out the voice again and put the Boba Fett voice in there.
What?
The kid Boba Fett.
As a kid? I don't think he's still a kid.
Oh, he's older now.
I saw a video where they replaced all Darth Vader's lines with little Annie. Little Anakin.
Oh, yeah. That's great.
It was Jeremy Bullock played him in the original. I don't know who did the voice in the holiday special cartoon.
This guy, Don Franks.
Don Franks.
Because he sounded similar to that.
I guess, a gravelly mercenary voice is what they were going for. Well,
Heard one gravelly mercenary.
one random throwaway line that I remember. when they were talking about trying to fix the hyperdrive, and they're like, "Oh, maybe the motivator's bad." Like, I guess everything in the Star Wars universe has a motivator, R2 units and
They're all bad
hyperdrives.
motivators.
When the Millennium Falcon first disappears and hides behind the back of the Star Destroyer, like the Imperial officer's like, "Impossible! No ship that size has a cloaking device." And I instantly started thinking of like Romulans.
They have cloaking devices in Star Wars?
Yeah.
I don't think they have like a legit cloaking. I think it's supposed to be mostly like sensors, like it blocks all the sensors and stuff.
They say that in The Last Jedi too, when they're trying to escape on the shuttles.
Then he calls up his bounty hunter buddies.
Yeah,
See,
and you get...
A boy
what?
Denga.
Oh, what are all their names? Well, you get IG-88
Bosk.
is in there.
Yep.
Boss.
And then I don't remember what the bug ones were called.
He makes a real point of telling Boba Fett no disintegrations this time.
Over here we got Forlom and Zuckus.
How could you
But
forget?
these little bug guys are in Night Teal Republic 2.
Is that a
Oh, yeah.
Gant?
Not. Oh, a Gand. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't do this asteroid scene yet.
No, they get to fight some Minox and
Get eaten by a space worm.
giant space worm. But yeah, then they land on Cloud City. We meet Lando, who's another cool smuggler, scoundrel like
Yep.
Han. And then we see Darth Vader just block blaster bolts with his hand. It's just a baller. And then they
They're just trying to
torture.
have some dinner.
They torture
Yeah, then
Han.
he's got like a
and-
3-course meal like set out for him, really nice. And like I wanted to see what happened after that. Them sitting around the table eating.
Well, haven't you seen the robot chicken clip?
Is it just them sitting around the table
Yeah, it's just awkward.
trying to?
Yeah,
have dinner?
Luke gets his hand chopped off too. So that was cool.
Can you imagine in one of the new movies if like Rey gets her hand
That's what
chopped
I
off?
keep waiting for someone to get like
That's
dismembered,
horrifying.
and it has nothing cool has happened.
It's so, but like that's what happens in this movie. That's pretty intense if
Right.
you're not expecting it. I know
Right.
it's coming, but if you
Yeah,
didn't
just
know
out of
that,
nowhere. Man,
things are looking pretty bad for Luke. Like it looks like he's gonna die.
one small little detail I love is how when Luke is sneaking around the base,
Yes.
where Boba Fett hears him unholster his weapon and like looks over at him,
Ah, he does.
but he's like, oh, he's there. He just keeps on walking because he's just
Nothing
cool like
gets
that. He
past
knows.
Boba.
Oh yeah, then he's waiting for him over there.
It's part of the plan,
Yeah,
so
so
they
he
just
hangs
let
back.
What
him
did he
come.
do to give him away? Oh no, R2 makes noise though too, but I think he
R2's
knew
not
he was
very
there. Yeah.
sneaky. R2 just
He's
keeps
like a-
running into Luke.
Like a Roomba that got stuck running into the wall.
Roomba.
Leia says the line that Admiral Akbar
Admiral
makes.
Akbar,
famous.
yeah.
It's a trap.
Another-
Yeah, it's a trap.
It's a trap.
Leia said it first.
There's a cool shot of Lobot just opening his eyes.
Yeah, he's got the cerebral implant.
Now, what is he?
Yeah.
Some kind of cyborg?
Well,
He's
there's cybernetics. We already know there's cybernetics because Luke gets an arm.
He's a reverse Geordie LaForge.
Oh, yeah. He just put
He's
the
the other half
visor
of Jodie
on the back of
LaForge.
his head. The other half.
That's how all the cool kids are wearing them these days.
Oh man, and then the Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader Bespin duel. And here we see Luke make the classic mistake of drawing his weapon first. That's how you know he's going to lose.
Why is that the mistake?
Only a
Jedi is always patient.
only use their weapon for defense.
Oh, yeah. They're silhouettes, and this is all with the blue light behind them.
Mhm.
I'd like to see something like this in any movie now,
Right?
Star Wars or not.
Just so well done.
It's not well done. It's over easy.
No, it's all too easy.
How do you like your Luke
like
Darth
that one.
Vader? Over easy.
And then Luke, like, flies at the speed of light
Shoo! Seriously.
out of the carbon freezing pit. Pew!
Which I'm wondering why he doesn't do that later when he's falls out of the chute onto the power pole looking things.
It's like
I'll believe
he has
that.
to jump off of something.
Yeah, he had something to jump off of. He was standing on it trying to reach up and he couldn't. But he was beat up. I mean, I get it.
He
just
was
lost a
missing a
hand.
hand. I think that's where a lot of your force power is contained.
They were missing a hand.
Oh, good one.
I think he just didn't have a handle on the situation.
the way Luke approaches this whole fight is like very aggressive, which is not the way that he was taught to use the Force at all.
Right, but it's not like he's fought.
No, he has no idea what he's doing.
Obviously, he's been trained. You know, we didn't see all the training he had done, but yeah, he was not ready.
It's all like
for
the
anything.
meditation and stuff that they're trying to teach. Clear your mind. Let the Force flow through you. Instead, he's just like, he's fighting like Darth Vader fights. You're just swinging your lightsaber around.
At this point, Darth Vader's clearly like, I'm going to chop something off.
And we haven't seen a lightsaber fight since Obi-Wan.
Right, this is like a whole nother. This is very good, actually.
And he's not trying to kill Luke. He's trying to wear him down, so he'll be more likely to give in and join him.
Oh, right. And see that, yeah, there's no use trying to fight it. Join me. Does Vader really want to rule the galaxy as father and son?
I don't know if he maybe is actually like excited by the idea, or if he's just like getting desperate to get Luke to join.
I can't tell how much of that is serious or him just trying to appeal to what might work on him.
Part of me, after seeing the next movie, you know, it kind of thinks maybe he was a little like enticed by that idea.
Luke or Vader?
Vader. I feel like, you know, seeing his son kind of change Vader a little bit, I think.
He likes the idea of having a son.
Yeah.
And then we see Luke finally make the right choice, you know, after all this time of like running after them and fighting first. He finally is just like, nope, I'm going to peace out. Just let's go.
Yeah, lost my hand. It's time to go. And my lightsaber. He kind of had to go at that point.
What happens to his lightsaber? How do we get it back again?
We don't know.
Flew out the same door he probably went out. You know, one of those spots.
Yeah, falls down. You can
clearly
see
somebody found it on the ground. I mean, it's very...
I don't know.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one Rey gets?
Yeah.
So unless that gets explained in
Probably.
The Rise of Skywalker.
They don't need to explain it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's explained in one of the books or something.
Yeah, I mean, if a book does something with it, fine, but they don't need to explain it in a movie.
I like that Leia can pick up Luke's message.
Right.
Yep, that's a cool little twist in there. It's like, whoa, they can communicate through the Force.
And again, I'm trying to picture if I didn't know the end of the story yet, like the audience didn't.
I think they'd probably just assume that Luke used the Force to tell her.
That's true,
versus her using the Force to...
Yeah, because people don't really maybe fully understand the Force. Yeah.
Well,
we
it's
don't...
maxi big.
Oh yeah, we don't know that yet, though.
No, that's true. You learn that in...
We learned that in Phantom Menace, that it's actually maxi big.
Here we just thought it was big, but you didn't.
Another classic line by Jar Jar Binks himself.
And he's the most reliable resource on what the Force is.
Yes, he's very knowledgeable in a great many things.
The Force is the only explanation as to how he's survived.
I would take...
he's pulling the strings this whole time.
I would take his definition of the Force over Qui-Gon Jinn's metachlorian explanation.
His metachlorian mumbo jumbo.
Yeah. I think Jar Jar said it best.
So we're just watching this scene where their hyperdrive doesn't work.
Lando says the same thing that Han said earlier. He's like, it's not my
fault. Yeah. I feel like they do such a good job of, like, they're so similar, I feel like, in some ways. You know, you know that they kind of have similar backgrounds. You know, Han doesn't trust him, but, like, they both are kind of similar guys.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
It makes sense that they, like, are good friends.
Yeah, it's great. Like, Lando, like, comes off as that selfish... a little, maybe doesn't care about people, but in the end, he's taking care of Leia and Chewie and looking out for him, you know. Kind of like Han acts like he doesn't care, but really he's looking out for people.
I also like how Lando is just like panicking, like we have to get the hyperdrive working, and Luke's just like, oh, a little traumatized, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, he's just
like, why didn't you tell me, Ben?
He's in a totally
his world has been shaken to its core.
I mean, yeah, I guess he just found out the worst man in the galaxy is his dad.
Then we see R2-D2 save the day, and just Admiral Piet's face when the Millennium Falcon hyperspace is away.
He's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
So just
he knows what's coming next.
Somehow Vader doesn't kill him. He's like, oh crap.
When R2 falls down that little hole, I swear Chewie was just down there.
He
saw
fell on
what?
top of Chewie, is that what you're saying?
Well, the last time you see Chewie, he's down in some little hole.
Yeah, no, he's definitely down
He
there.
probably did.
He is down
He's
there.
down. He's right in that spot Han was in before.
They need to put railings around that.
Here's the last shot of the movie.
Right. They're staring at another galaxy, I guess?
It's the Milky Way.
They just flew really far away.
Are they outside of the galaxy?
I don't think they're outside the galaxy. 'Cause that would take...
There are still
so long to
stars
get
all
there.
around them.
I don't quite understand that.
That's one long ship.
The effects are amazing, like the miniature ships that they used. Looks so good.
I like scenes where you can see them through the window and then it zooms way out.
Yeah,
into the
that's
ship.
great.
Or when they do the opposite, zoom into somebody. I always think those are cool.
Notice it was not directed by George Lucas.
Right.
Irvin Kershner. Any other closing statements?
It's good.
Yeah, that was good. Probably the best Star Wars film.
J.J. Abrams, we dare you to do better. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Like we said before, feel free to watch along with us. We're going to do Return of the Jedi next. So go ahead and check that one out, and then tune in here, and we'll talk about it. That's a pretty bad outro.
Oh, you know, doing it.
Sorry.
It was